The PSAC is fast, man. I love it. Division II, PSAC, Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference is fire, as my swimmers would say. And Mark. Things are awesome. Recruiting is in full swing, and as it pretty much always is in our sport. And we just came off an excellent prelims finals mid-season meet at Youngstown State University. So it was awesome. We had ourselves, UPJ, men's and women's swimming, Edinburgh, IUP, Indiana, University of Pennsylvania, both PSAC teams. So 3 PSAC teams. And then Youngstown State, which is a Division I big dog, and UPJ swam awesome. We had a bunch of lifetime best times. We made finals every night, and we held our own with the big dogs. And we got our first PSAC qualifier in the history of UPJ swimming, Mark DePalma. Yeah, the PSAC is fast, man. I love it. Division II, PSAC, Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference is fire, as my swimmers would say. And Mark DePalma dropped 5 seconds in his 200 free from what he went a month ago at the Shippensburg meet and destroyed the PSAC cut by over 2 seconds and went a lifetime best time. So we're going to PSACs, baby. Yeah, we made history at UPJ. And I walked into our athletic director's office, my boss, Abby Gearhart, who's the most wonderful person I've ever worked with and one of the most wonderful people I've ever met in my life. And I walked in there Monday just to take care of some business. And she said, how does it feel to make UPJ history? And we just all celebrated in the office. And it was a wonderful experience this weekend. It's really nice when your swimmers swim really well. You know what I mean? It's a good feeling. So I live for it. And I'm sure you do too as a coach. So, yeah.
So there's your first year. And how did you recruit these kids in? Were they on campus already? Or you shaking the bushes and trees and trying to get some kids that want to come out and go to the pool?
Pretty much, Mark. That's pretty much how it went down. So I started April 22nd, which is pretty late in the game to recruit for the fall. If swimmers aren't sure where they're going by the end of April, I'd be happy to snag them up. But most people knew where they were going. So we got some internal swimmers that wanted to swim that were already at UPJ, which is fantastic to offer them the opportunity. And I just recruited in the quickest but most quality way that I could. I want wonderful people from wonderful families who are really good students who want to be a part of something awesome. So I connected with a young lady named Nicole Scott from Marion Center High School, valedictorian, 4.8 grade point. And she was going to go to Pitt, Maine, the main campus in Oakland, but she wouldn't have been able to swim. And so when we talked, we got her to come to UPJ. And so my first recruit as a college head coach was the valedictorian of her high school with a 4.8 GPA. And she's an awesome swimmer too. So really, really excited about that. But we're really working on just getting the word out for 2026. The hardest thing, Mark, is just people don't know we have a men's and women's swim team at the University of Pitt Johnstown. So, just getting the word out is the key, but it's going well for 2026. It started out pretty slow. And I was real nervous about it. And I'm still a little nervous because until you've got them all signed, it's not a done deal, but it's starting to go really well. A lot more interest from guys than women, just because I think less opportunities for guys out there. And we're wide open for women and men. Like I said, good people, good students. I'm not even really that focused on how fast you are. Obviously, the faster you are, the better in college swimming. But I know I can make people faster. If you're a guy and you're a 26.5 in the 50 free, I know we can get you down to 24 real quick, and just build on what their club coaches did with them and what their high school coaches did with them and just further it from there. I was a club coach for 25 years, so I'm a big believer in that. Really is the most important part of your swimming development is what your club coaches and high school coaches do with you. So all I want to do is just build on that and help these swimmers get better through that process.
How do you get the word out? What are some of the secrets? And And you're not totally alone in this as far as starting a new college team. There are a few others around the country. And are you networking with those folks too?
You know what? No, but maybe I should be, Mark. I'm not. You know what I am doing that's really nice is the PSAC coaches have been the kindest, most caring coaches I've ever met in my life. The guys at IUP, Chris Villa and Adam Stoner, go out of their way to help us be successful. And I can't tell you just how wonderful they are. They just want to see the sport grow. They really have that big picture swimming mindset of, hey, UPJ's growth and success is good for IUP, is good for the PSAC, is good for D2, is good for the world of swimming. So they've been very, very helpful, just giving me some tips and pointers. And, as far as getting the word out, this is huge. This is an honor to be able to do my first podcast with you. So I appreciate it. This is a big deal. I also did the Referee Rich show on the Fox 8 Altoona network, and he was fantastic. I did that a couple weeks ago. We had a great on-air interview. I talked to other coaches that I know. I talked to high school coaches, club coaches, any coach, summer league coaches. I go around to club meets, with business cards and with my Pitt Johnstown hat on and just talk to coaches and swimmers and just tell them about how we're growing something awesome and, how I'm going to care for your swimmers like I care for my own two children. I have two boys, 10 and 12. And the way I coach is you just got to, and this is a no-brainer at this point, you just got to put the person first. I want happy people who are getting good grades, and then I know they're going to give me their best every day in practice, and so that's what I want to communicate to the swimming world out there. Definitely treat my swimmers as one big family. And that's, you spend most of your life on a pool deck, right? You want to be surrounded by people you care about and that care about you. So just doing that, going to go to a bunch of high school meets coming up, Richland High School and Westmont High School. Both two really good high school teams use our pool at UPJ for practice and for swim meets. So looking forward to getting out there and just going to some high school meets and just getting the word out, as quick as we can. I'd love to have, 20 guys and 20 girls for the fall of 2026 on UPJ. I don't know if we'll get that many, but that's the goal right there. And it's just wide open right now, which makes me feel good. I don't like to say no to anybody if they're good people and they're hard workers. The blessing for me with this is my favorite job I've ever had, biggest opportunity in my life to do something awesome. And I want to say yes and give people the opportunity to enjoy what I would consider the most beautiful thing or one of the most beautiful things on earth, and that's being able to swim.
Tell me a little bit about the campus, the majors, and the facilities. People are going to want to know, hey, what type of pool do you have?
I'll start out with the pool. It is a standard 6-lane, 25-yard pool, 9 feet in the deep end, starting blocks, 4 feet in the shallow end. They actually just did $1 million renovation about a year ago on like the whole athletic center, and the pool got new tiling. They replaced the pumps and everything like that, which is great. But to be fair, it's like a pretty basic pool. I love it because we have huge glass windows and doors that open up to the Appalachian Mountains. Like the view from the UPJ pool is the Appalachian Mountains. There's hiking trails right out back. You see deer as big as horses. I moved up to PA about 3.5 years ago. I used to love deer before I moved up here. Now I'm like, just get out of the road. Just get out of the road. But it is a gorgeous view. When you live at a pool, it's nice to have natural sunlight. And I said to them, on the interview process about 8 months ago, they were like, hey, it's just kind of a standard pool. I said, all I need is 6 lanes and 25 yards full of water to get the job done. An indoor 50-meter pool is great. I don't need it. So I love our facility. It's pretty basic. Our campus is 729 acres of basically woods, trees, mountains. They kept all these trees when they built, the dorms. The dorms all look like ski chalets, like ski hotels. It's really, really, really gorgeous. Top majors would be, engineering. Engineering is really popular. We have an excellent engineering department, and we get a lot of interest with that. Nursing is huge. And I really feel like we have such small, like I almost said coach to swimmer ratios, but teacher to student ratios in the classroom that after the first week, the professors are going to know your name as a student. And that's all what's really magical and special about UPJ, is that we really do get to put that very like, specific support on people. It's big enough to meet a lot of people and have a lot of fun, but it's also small enough to where our athletic director, Abby Gearhart, is going to know your name, whether you're a student athlete or not. When I came up on the interview, we went to lunch in the cafeteria. By the way, excellent food. Shout out to Lacey Gearhart. She does a great job. We feed our athletes really well. They feed coach really well too. We went into the cafeteria. Abby knew everyone's name, every student's name. And it was like, second hat for her. It was great. She's the most positive, supportive person I've ever worked with. It's really nice to start a men's and women's swim team, especially a men's team. Not many people are doing that, but both men's and women's, and to have just undying support. There's a lot of programs out there that are, like might be on the fence about if they're going to keep them or not. And we are just gung-ho about having Pitt Johnstown swimming forever. I want to stay here the rest of my life. I want to retire here in 25 years. It's the best place I've ever worked. The people are so positive, and everybody wants everyone else to be successful. And that synergy is unmatched, at least for me in my 30 years of coaching. It's a really beautiful place to just, be an employee or be a student athlete at, or just be a student at. UPJ is like a little hidden gem over in Richland, PA. Yeah, not many people know about it. It really is just a gem, and it's beautiful inside and out. Really wonderful, truly genuine, excellent place to be, for sure.
What about winter break? Are you going to stay on campus, or do you send the kids home? Do you have a little training trip? What's the schedule for winter break this year? And then what do you think it'll evolve into in the future?
I let my swimmers go home for Thanksgiving. We get the whole week off for Thanksgiving. I let them go home, but I reminded my swimmers that, hey, this is a break from school, but we're only halfway through our season. And Mark, after doing this for so long, we've been talking about Thanksgiving break and Christmas break since day one. So I wrote workouts for them, and I tried to make them manageable, no super crazy VO2 max sets, because I'm proud of them for doing it on their own. Some good dry land, some good training so they can stay in shape. They come back, in 6 days. We'll hit it hard for about a week. Then they've got finals. So I have kind of a more aerobic with short sprinting, kind of flexible finals workout schedule for them. So we do keep in shape, but so they can do what they're there to do, which is study and learn and get awesome grades. It's got to be student first and then athlete, really person, student, athlete. He just taught me a lot of things about working with young adults. When you work with club swimmers, it's different, I guess when you're 17, 18, you're kind of becoming a young adult, but it's more like they're kids. These are young adults. They need buy-in. They need a say in what we're doing. They need support. They need to know I care about them. So I wrote them, 5 workouts over Thanksgiving. Monday was a recovery day because we just got off the meet. Tuesday, Wednesday were strong. Take off turkey day. Friday and Saturday, not super strong, but get the job done. We come back Monday, the first, train hard. Finals week will be really flexible. It's like come in when you can, because I know finals are all over the place. And then they'll get like 2.5 weeks at home for Christmas, which, don't get me wrong, makes me a little nervous because they're great swimmers, but some of them don't even have like necessarily like availability to practice with a team, which is kind of new for me. So we've been planning out since day one. Hey, how do you get to a pool? How do you get to a county run pool or a YMCA? And so, because they know if they come back December 29th out of shape, and I'm just very straight up about this and honest, I'm nice, but I'm straight up. I said, it's over. I said, if you're out of shape December 29th, when you come back, I was like, there's no way to get the aerobic base and get fit and be able to do all the power and lactate work we need to do and then taper and swim fast. I said, you'll just barely get in shape by the time we taper, but your speed and power won't be there. So, we really, really got to do the job while you're at home for 2.5 weeks. And I say, remember, it's a break from school. We have a long season. It's not a break from swimming. And I trust my swimmers. I think they're going to do a great job with that. We've been really proactive about that. And they know that I'm here anytime for anything they need. All they have to do is pick up this, call me, text me, and they know I've got them. So yeah, I think that's going to go well. And then we hit the back half of the season and then just go rock it through the end of February and eventually through March when we get some D2 national qualifiers. That might take a year or two, but when we get there, that'll be really fun too.
This is just part of the full interview with Coach Kile Zeller. The uncut 53-minute version is available on the Heavy or Not Substack and in the wafsu.org course on bygone seminars. Subscribe there to hear the entire conversation.